Good evening, everybody, and welcome to round 2 then of season 7 here at the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix here in Imola. Back again tonight with the Yorkshire Terrier himself. How about Connor? How you doing, Connor?
Yeah, doing well, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Sorry about the Yorkshire Terrier. It was that or Yorkshire Ripper. So I thought, well, small and yappy's better than serial killer. So we'll go with that. So yeah, round 2. Imola, not one of my favourite tracks, but I did win here last season after a very good restart from a safety car. Give us some stats about the track.
Okay, so we've got 17 turns in total, I believe. 10 to the left, 7 to the right. A lap around here is just over 3 miles, 3.05 miles, averaging roughly a minute 18 a lap during race. Total race distance, as it's 50%, will be just under 155. Just under 155 kilometres. And obviously you've got the infamous Tamburello and the tricky Villeneuve chicane in Sector 1.
Right then, so first on track it's Billy in the Mercedes. If you want to jump on with Billy Bob, he's just about to come around the final corner and let him take us through the lap at least. What are we expecting about the drivers today in terms of times, do you reckon, Con?
It's tough to tell. Obviously, I was in the Div 0 race last night. A lot of varying times, obviously, being drivers from multiple divisions. But in terms of Div 2, be looking sort of mid-14s, maybe towards a 15, I would have thought.
I was going to go the other way. I was going to go sort of mid to low 14s with, if somebody can pull off an absolutely fantastic lap, maybe even stretch into 13s, but that is probably a bit of a stretch. Unluckily for Billy, he has just invalidated as well. So the next car is, it looks like a Ferrari. It's Mr. Tetris who's up next. Let's have this first lap on the board. Let's see what is, well, provisional target for people, I guess, is the way to go. Nice little exit there. As it crosses the line for a 16.7. Now, I think people can improve on that by at least a second. We might be exaggerating the times, maybe mid to low 15s.
You never know, but really it could jump in then with a 16.1 and pairing.
There we go, mid 15 straight off with Nathaniel.
Who we got next?
So we've got, looks like 6 reserves in with us tonight. There are a couple from the division below, but we do have Nathaniel, current provisional pole sitter with a 15.6. We have Maridako in the McLaren, who is on a lap. We have the Gunnar brothers. I don't know their surnames. I don't know their names. Well, I know one of them's name. But they are brothers. They race together in Division 3. Those are both in the Haas. Jago, teammate of mine in the Merc today, and Barry Chuckle Bogarowski himself in the Red Bull, having set a time of a 17.1. I'm sure Bossman can do faster than that. Mr. Tetris does finish his lap. Oh, another lap for a 15.5. And a new provisional pole sitter of a 14.7 from last week's race winner, Stuart Foxy.
Yeah,
very strong this season.
Yeah, just watching. I was just about to say watching Lunatic Car coming up to the line, but he's just dove into the pits. Typical.
He always wants to fluff things up for us, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely typical. Yeah, I'm
So yeah,
assuming.
Stuart looking a good amount ahead of everybody else. 8 tenths exactly, actually, separate first and second. Maridako squeezing in there into second place. Very, very close behind with 3 thousandths. Separating them is Florian, last week's driver of the day from us, actually. Mr. Florian himself,
Yeah,
with a
brilliant.
great drive from the back of the field.
Yeah, brilliant recovery drive, and kept it clean. Made moves when it was right to make them, and not just for the sake of trying to force it. So
Yeah,
yeah,
100%. That's exactly what we like to see, especially from a new driver as well. I'm pretty sure he is new this year. There are a couple of name changes, so I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he is new this year. But we do like to see from the new drivers that the main thing on track is to pick your moments. Obviously, we saw a couple of drivers last year losing seats for a while for, choosing the wrong moments. But yeah, so it was good to see. He came from dead last up to sixth, I believe. So yeah, great race for him last week in Australia. We do have a few people on fast laps. Looks like an Aston Martin. Well, a Mercedes is going to be next over the line, unless he jumps in. It is Jado. There he is, 16.2. Ferrari to follow. Either not set a time or just about to start one. And the Aston Martin of Nathaniel is next. Then coming through sector 3 right now. On an outlap. Sorry, yeah, he's on an outlap, so he's about to start his lap. Predictions today? If any.
I mean, usually I like to see how it plays out in qualifying before I make a prediction, I suppose. But
well, funnily enough, last week's podium is currently first, second, and third in qualifying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is a sight to behold.
Yeah, could be a sign of things to come. You don't know, but obviously there's a couple of drivers that didn't race last week in this week that could shake things up.
We should be on board with one of them now. Nathaniel, very, very fast driver. He could well shake things up. Only a reserve currently, but definitely has the pace to be, top 3 to 5 every race, if not challenging for the win. We've seen him race for a while, Nathaniel, especially us two, because we've raced in multiple leagues with him as well. But definitely has the pace to shake things up, and it's only round 2 as well, so plenty of time to get that full seat. He does jump straight back in the pits. I think he did mess up on the end of sector 1, I believe, in that little hairpin before the uphill. I haven't got the names in front of me, but he must have just lost a lot of time there. Other than that, commentator's curse, and he won't be anywhere near the top because we've said he will be. Lunatic Kai there. New provisional pole there by a few hundred, 300s, just less than 300s. 14.6 now is the time to beat. Very good from Kai. TGL Stewart just setting his first time there with 15.8. We have only got Billy not set a time currently. First out in qualifying and still not set a time yet. Stuart Fox is about to start a lap. We have a half just crossing the line. Probably just starting a lap as well. Aston Martin is next. It's the other one, Felix, who's jumping in the pits. Ricker is coming around the final corner. Let's see what they can do. Keeps it tight to the wall. Crosses for 16th 3. Very, very minimal improvement there by the Alfa Romeo driver. It was 11 thousandths, I think, was the difference. So yeah, not much at all. We've hit a bit of a lull with not many people on track. Save my throat, Connor. Have a chat.
Who's this just coming through? No, it's not Stuart. It is.
It's Florian with a 15.2. Puts him into 5th position. Billy still in the pits.
That's one of the Ferraris. Mr. Tetris just sort of about to start his lap, so we'll stay on board with him and see what he can do.
A very safety car heavy track is Imola, with it being tight and twisty. Shall we make the outside prediction, just a bit of a fun one, of how many we will see tonight and how many DNFs?
I'll go for 3 safety cars and 7 DNFs.
Oh, 7. We had 5 DNFs in a disqualification last week, so we weren't far off. I think I guessed 4, you guessed 5. 7 it's a lot, but as you know, it is a tight track. I'm going to stick with 5. I think it's a nice round number. I think seven's a lot. It's almost, well, I say it's almost half the grid. It's 3/4 of the grid basically. But yeah, I'm going to stick with 5, and I think we'll see 2 safety cars. And we've got coming around, got Alpine jumping back in. Ferrari is just set. It's 14.8. That's 4 drivers now in the 14s. Obviously top 4. I would be surprised now if we see anybody do jumping into that 13s. But I think with track evolution, somebody could try and get maybe a 14.3. Still plenty of time to get a lap in. Billy's still twiddling his thumbs in his pit box. A couple of people on out laps next, and yeah, takes provisional pole on that 14.6. Got a Red Bull just starting. I think it's Mr. Bog. We have a Williams coming through. Boss Mops, I think that was, up to 5th there with a 14.8. 5 drivers now in the 14s. AlphaTauri is jumping in the pits, I think, along with Mercedes behind him. And the next car to come around the final corner is Xavi, not the ex-footballer from Barcelona.
And he's got in the pits as well. It would, to be fair, yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Everybody jumping in the pits now. One last tyre change. How long is left? I don't know.
Yeah, can't see it in the minute for caution in sector 3.
Yeah, that's how I know. Is that actually the McLaren, is it?
Yeah, it's Maridako that's currently stopped.
What's it doing? Mr. Bog about to cross the line, I think. Does improve to 15, 16 dead. We have 3 drivers on a 16 dead. It is very, very close, even in the mid-pack. However, 5 drivers in the 14s, with 2 of them on a 14.6. I think I'm not far off with saying somebody could get maybe a 14.3. I think they'd have to nail the final lap though. One little slip is obviously going to change a lot. I don't know, maybe that's all we can do. I'd like to see Billy go out and do a lap. He is out at the minute.
Yeah,
Where the Mercedes driver can put himself. Doing one solo lap.
Okay, just over 2 minutes to go. I caught it as it flashed.
It's back up now anyway. Yeah, 2 minutes 10, just about.
We'll stick on with Billy as he comes through the final sector then.
Yeah, I think all the rest are on out laps anyway. With Billy being on a lap and not having time. As he comes round that final corner, nice exit there.
Up to the line then.
And into 8th position with a 15.2. 0.02 of a second separate him and Florian Connor. That is,
yeah, very close indeed.
A gnat's whisker. Right then. We have a Alpine, I think, is next. Is that starting and finishing? Must be starting. Everybody's starting laps now. For the final time. I don't actually know who's first though.
No. Could it be Nathaniel? Just going. He's invalidated final sector, but he's not gonna be able to get a good, decent last run in. I don't think he's 50, just over 50% in the RS.
Yeah, we've just had Florian there finishing a lap with a 14.8, puts him into 4th. Just watching for places changing.
Is that Kai next up? No, it's Maradaka. Maradaka just starting an out lap.
Yeah. We've got one of the brothers. There's a big charge there from Reliot, putting himself 7th, 15.1. Some of the D3 drivers doing very good. I am very nervous for tomorrow because this is not my track.
No, arguably not mine either. For later on
good
in the week.
Jago throws himself between the Haas brothers. 15.1 as well. Mr. Tetris takes provisional pole. Can anybody beat him? Nexton's in the pits. What about Kai? Stay on with Kai. Gonna see if he can take that pole away from Mr. Tetris. Very good. He had a very good qualifying last week as well, if I remember rightly, Mr. Tetris, and then it all went wrong until the safety car.
Yes, unfortunately it did, but we're going to stick with Stuart for a second. It's just in front of Kai. He's
lovely. He's going to need 3/10 or just about.
Slightly down on his time in sector 2, Kai, but will.
Maridako throws it 3rd, 14.6. Alfa Romeo goes in. There is Bosmox finishing in the Williams. Alpine jumps in. Alfa Romeo mustn't have been an improvement, or if it is, it's not changed anything. Is Kai going to finish?
He is, but it's not an improvement.
No improvement.
He caught the curve at second to last, and
I think Billy has just started a lap. He had timed that perfectly. Pretty sure he's just crossed that line at 1 second.
Yeah, he's going in though.
Oh no, it must have been Jago then. I bet he's out of. Thingy though. He's going to be out of battery, isn't he? He crossed the line at like 1 second, so I'm pretty sure he's. Oh no, he's finished. Oh, okay, yeah, cool. That's just me getting confused as usual. Welcome to my podcast. There we go then. That is your qualifying. A little bit all over the place from my point of view because you can never tell what order people are in. Luckily, I'm not controlling the camera. But once again, Mr. Tetris, very good in qualifying. He does top the grid with a 14.4 Red Bull finishes that front row. Second in the race last week, second in qualifying this week. The 14.6 is Nexton. And then you've got the two McLarens of Maridaco and Kai in third and fourth. Stewart in fifth. Florian in sixth with his teammate in seventh. 14.8 into the 15s. Then we've got Reliot in eighth in the Haas. Jago in the Mercedes, ninth, and Gunnar rounds out your top 10. We've got Billy, then Xavier, then Nathaniel, Felix, Nicky Lauda. Surprised he's only 15th actually this week, Con. Athanasio, Stewart, Barry Bogarovsky, and Ricker then, I think, rounds off the grid. Could be wrong. Someone could have been last. A couple of D3 drivers in the top 10 though.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of difference between D2 and D3 this season, or at least it's not looking like that anyway.
I think there's not a lot of difference in general. I think the front of D2 probably is close to the front of D3, but then the front of D2 is quite far from the back of D3. I think that's the difference there.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. It does look dry. If we can get a confirmation of that. It looks very cloudy though, so we could have rain expected. That'll throw a spanner in the works, won't
it? Yeah, definitely. Did some wet weather practice round here a couple of days ago, and it was not fun.
So it's not pleasant. Imola in the rain is not pleasant. Just waiting for everybody to load in. As just a reminder, the formation lap is in broadcast mode still due to the glitch of possible disqualifications. A very wild and wonderful tyre selection though, Connor, not with all three different tyres being used. TGL Stewart, the only one on the softs though.
Yeah, see, I will admit Stewart's a bit of a maverick in terms of strategy selection. He never seems to go with the norm.
He's Scottish though, isn't he? So that's in their blood.
So we'll have to see whether it pays dividends for him or not. But yeah, obviously, as you said, a smorgasbord of medium and hard runners.
Yeah, I mean the majority have still gone medium. They'll probably stick to a medium hard unless we have a few safety cars. But there are a few hard runners out there as we wait for the 5 red lights. And we are off. Let's get a bit of a... Mr. Tetris looked like he had a bit of wobble off the line, but he has kept first place. Maridaco... Oh, he seems to have lost it already. Maridaco had got into second, and he is out of the race, along with Nicky Lauda, before even turn 1, and that is safety car.
Yeah, and we've got 5-second penalties for Gunnar and Ricker for severe collisions.
Came up with something for Jago as well on my screen, but it doesn't seem like he's got a penalty, so Christ knows what that is. But yeah, so safety car number 1, ladies and gentlemen.
And 2 DNFs already.
And 2 DNFs, yeah. I think 5 or 7 is looking very good. TGL Stewart and Rick are big winners off the start. I mean, I know Rick has got the penalty, but moving up 5 positions each. Both the Williams drivers managed to retain positions. The biggest loser of that, unfortunately, was Jago Bomb, down to 16th. That is 7 positions lost off the grid.
Yeah, so just got the race director up on our screen while the safety car's doing its thing. So Ricker got the 5-second penalty for a severe collision with TGL Stewart, and Gunnar got the 5-second penalty for a severe collision with Jago Bomb.
Right, that's why I saw Jago Bomb's name then. Dankeschön. So yeah, as they come through Sector 1 then to meet up with safety car, There are a couple in the pits. They probably will be the ones that got the... I mean, I'm surprised Rick has not got in and got rid of that penalty already. With him being on mediums, he could have gone to hards for a while and then back to the mediums later on, but Gunnar has done that. He's going to take that 5-second penalty and stick the mediums on. Jago must have got damage because he didn't have a penalty.
Yeah, that would make sense considering obviously he lost so many positions.
Yeah, so he must have started on the hards unless he had a spare set of mediums, because he's now on the medium tyre alongside Gunnar. Yeah, surprised with Ricker not going in, getting rid of that 5-second penalty. It's going to cost him later in the race if by chance there isn't another safety car.
Yeah.
He's going to lose the extra time that's not needed, really, is it? He would jump in now. My timings are all over the place. I've got Nexton minus 1 minute 47, and then Reliot is plus 1 minute 49, even though everyone's together.
Yeah, and I've got the same for Nathaniel and Xavi as well in 9th and 10th.
Yeah, I have as well. And then the same for Benny and Bog down in 15th and 16th. So amazing. Although I think Nicky Lauda left, so there could now be, unfortunately, a few issues for us. But as you can see, all that is not the right timings.
Okay,
which they're not.
Just had a comment in chat that Nexton apparently pushed Maridako off.
They did look side by side. Maridako did get into second, and I think Nexton was going for it side by side, but obviously we didn't catch any movement. Maridako obviously has the right to report after, but it hasn't been caught on stream. But they were challenging for that second position, so it could well be the case. My timings have now gone back to normal, which is good.
Yes, as of mine, so we're all good again. But also can confirm that Jago has gone from medium to another set of mediums.
Mediums. Okay.
Whereas Guna started on hards and has now gone to mediums.
Yeah, you don't get more than one set of hards, unfortunately. So it was something that needed to be done. Get rid of that 5 second, and at least he's on the faster tyre technically than the hard to maybe make those places back up. And you never know, safety car around the lap that he needs to pit could just come into fruition for him.
Yeah, you just
Lunatic
never know.
Kai in second. Last week's he had a very good qualifying, a very good start to the race. He did get up to first and then DNF'd. Connor, are we seeing the same thing, do you reckon, for the Lunatic, the self-proclaimed Lunatic? Or do you think it'll just go right for him tonight?
I mean, obviously he'll be hoping it goes right. Obviously he's got the assailant in front of him in Mr. Tetris, leading him all the way on this restart.
Let's hope he goes for revenge in the right way, though.
Of course.
Of course. So here we go then. Safety car is in. Mr. Tetris has gone. He has made a bit of a gap as well to Kai, who must have been half asleep. 8-10 separate the two. Everybody else seems to have got away quite well. We will keep on into turn one. Make sure there is no more deaths. Oh, the Williams is round. Has he caught anybody else? It was just a back end that slipped from the Williams driver. Doesn't look like he's got any damage. I'm not sure if anybody else was caught. The two Aston Martins are now off track. But not damaged by the looks of it. Everybody looks like they've got a full car. So I think we got very lucky there. Florian's back end just went into, well, on the exit of turn one actually. Looked like he was going to cover the track sideways, but something must have happened just to pull him back round and everybody seems to have got through nicely. Asanasio there with Rika, a little bit of side by side through the chicane, tyre bumping. Sector 3, yellow, that is Jado, who is on the grass. Cool down your tyres, Jado, and go again. Kai now dropped to third. Oh, these cameras are awful.
So just looking at Nexton as he seems to be hounding the back of Kai following his loss of position down to third.
Yeah, seems to be teetering on that 3:10 mark. Everybody about half a second from each other, so.
Oh, bit of wobble from Kai.
Oh, he has lost that position then.
Yeah, just had a bit of a wobble on the exit of that corner, and it's just allowed Nexton to slide on through.
That could well be the pressure getting to him. TGL Stewart as well on them softs has gone up 10 positions. He's up into 7th now for the Alpine driver, splitting the Williamses. Florian has recovered quite well. He's up to 8th. I'm sure he's dropped down to 9th. DRS now enabled as well. So not too thingy after the restart. Obviously, turn 1 is always a bit of fun, I suppose, is one way of putting it.
Yeah, definitely one way of putting it, like you said.
A couple of gaps starting to form now in the middle of the grid. Stewart up to second, 1.7 behind Mr. Tetris. At this pace, Tetris could well just keep it on track and keep going. He's still making time on the cars behind, with the Red Bull on the back of the Alpine as well. Kai recovering well, half a second now from Kai to Nexton, so we could see a little bit of a challenge there. Another good challenge. How's Jado doing at the back? Is he recovering? I think he's made up about a second to the back of the grid. 4.1. He was about 5 seconds, I think, once he started going in. So there we go then. DRS enabled. Nexton gets past Stewart on the pit straight. Nice and clean. Space left for both Bosmots and Reliot. I think almost side by side with Reliot pulling back out. I think Bosmot's got a head under the DRS, but had the move done by turn 1.
But yeah, just nice and easy from Nexton.
3 cars wide there, and Nathaniel is round. We had his teammate and what looked like the other half, although I don't. It could have been the AlphaTauri of Benny, actually, because I just saw the white on the front.
Yeah, but I believe it was the other AlphaTauri in that challenge.
There were almost 3 wide. Felix was just ahead, and then the other 2 were basically side by side through the tight well, it's not a chicane, is it? But it's the tight left-right, with Nathaniel obviously just taking a little bit of touch from Benny, and then putting it into a spin. But as we said during qualifying, he has got the pace to show what he can do. Nexton has caught up a little bit to Tetris. Bosmot's getting past Kai now as well with the DRS.
Yeah. Pressure might be getting to Kai a little bit, but also I would be telling him not to worry too much as he is on the harder tyre, and it'll come to him later on.
Oh, we have the other Aston Martin is now round in sector 1, waiting for everybody to pass. As his teammate jumps in the pits and gets a 5-second penalty as well. Not going good for the Aston Martins tonight.
No,
That
a
was a
bit.
hell of a turning circle, that, Felix. I don't know how you do it in France, but that's not how you do it on on a racetrack. Get that back end round. Next and catching. Less than a second now between himself and Tetris at the front. This could become very spicy as the race goes on. Keep a close eye on that. I'm going to go midfield where Billy is on the back of Benny. And Ricker, actually.
Yeah, next and just
DRS.
Yeah, next and just about got DRS on Mr. Tetris, but obviously not enough to catch him.
There we go then. Ricker in the Alfa Romeo. Strong one. He's a bit of a sitting duck with no DRS this time, but Benny is the only one that could take advantage of that, get past him. Oh, and then we've got 2 round, 3 round. We've got Billy, we've got Ricker, and I think we've got Gunnar as well. I think it was almost like synchronised swimming for 2 of them. I don't know if there was a touch, but 2 of them just back end went side by side with the next one going into one of the side of the cars. Like a T-bone. Very good now for the Aston Martins, who can pull it back as we have safety car number 2. Woof.
An eventful 9 laps so far.
2 in 9 laps. I mean, you know, then we could get another. we could max it out at this rate, I think. What's the maximum? Is it 6?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure on maximums. As we've got a few going in.
Yeah. 10 laps on the mediums, putting on the hards now, a few of them. Next and taking the lead so far, so Mr. Tetris won't have that little push from behind. Next one was catching Kai there in second place as well, and Athanasio is up to 3rd.
Yeah, Xavi on the hards as well. A big gainer from that, getting up to 4th.
Ricker has pit, but obviously he has got that 5-second penalty. I would expect Nathaniel to come back in as well to get rid of the penalty he got for speeding in the pit lane. So I will keep an eye on that.
Yeah, majority that have pitted come out on hards, I believe.
He does jump in, get rid of that. Benny there with a penalty. Is that 3? It is 3. So he's the first one with a track limit penalty. Is the AlphaTauri of Benny Bono.
Yeah.
So it's spicy so far. When I say spicy, I mean like we're almost at Vindaloo level. We've got a few challenges all the way down the grid. Like I say, we said in qualifying, with the track being tight and twisty, we're gonna get, you know, people tyre banging, and it's gone a little bit wrong for some people so far. I think it's a tough one for setup as well, this track, because it's quite quick, even though it's quite twisty.
Yeah, a lot of medium to high speed corners. Very few harsh braking zones. Obviously, the main ones being second to last corner, and the Variante Alta chicane, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, other than that, not a lot of like harsh braking zones. So yeah, as you said, difficult to decide on like obviously wing levels and various other things to maximize the optimal setup.
Yeah, speed as well as, you know, you've still got to have high enough wings to take the amount of corners well. So there's that. They are quite quick, but there is a lot of them. So you still need the
Yes.
wings to be able to turn the car. And obviously you want to get on that throttle again as quick as you can, and that's where, if you've got something slightly wrong in setup, is where we've seen already the back end can just go. Obviously you can lock the rear tyres this year. Obviously if you get on the gas too early and you don't use traction control, you can lose the back end. I mean, you can on medium traction control as well, but yeah, it's obviously more likely without traction control. We're going to have one more full lap just to let Nathaniel catch up. It's the only one now not in that run of cars. So, yeah. Nexton and Kai, obviously, they haven't pit yet, though, have they?
Yeah, no, top four haven't pitted. Nexton on mediums, the rest of them on hards.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand the hard runners, but I think Nexton should have pitted, because he's probably only going to get another 4 laps out of their mediums.
Potentially, yeah. Definitely not a medium to soft one stop this track.
No. No. We do have Nathaniel catching up just as they come to the end of Sector 1. So it should be in this lap. It'd be good to see whether Kai can take advantage this time. Obviously, he lost a bit of time to Tetris in the previous restart. Let's see if he's got his eyes open this time to Nexton.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think he needs to push Beanham Hearts. I think he just needs to keep the people behind him.
Yeah, absolutely. Same for Afanasio and Xavi, obviously having not pitted either. Just a little note that
Mr. Tetris technically the front runners having pit already there.
Yeah, as we get the notification that the safety car's going in. Also, just to note, Stuart's gone from soft to hard.
He has, yeah. I think it's doable.
Yeah, definitely doable. Could potentially be the right strategy. Obviously, more safety cars will throw that up in air, and we might see the hard runners pit onto mediums if they've got another set.
Depending on when it comes out, we could have a last couple of lap shootout like we did last week in Australia as well. This is now Nexton, and he's gone at the DRS line. Kai was a little bit more awake this time, has made a bit of a gap to I can never say his name, apologies. Afanasio behind him, good 8/10 there, just coming up to a second still. Mr. Tetris does get past Xavi as well before turn 1. Looks pretty clean, pretty slow there from Stuart though in the Alpine. We do have a yellow flag.
That's for Florian. Yeah, unfortunately he's dropped to the back.
There's 3 seconds for Jago there. Bossmots gets past Xavi as well. Not a great start for Xavi, dropping down from 4th to 7th. Oh, and off track. Are you off track there? Oh, a big off track.
Yeah, Brelly
now past Xavi as well.
And Benny Butter. Oh, and it's all gone wrong.
And a yellow. Looks like Xavi is round.
Yeah, he's unfortunately lost it.
Looks like no damage though, so all's well that ends well for the Alfa Romeo driver. Still plenty of time to pull that back. We have Jago there dropping it to Felix. Still side by side through that final corner. Who is going to get this DRS? That is the question. I think it's Jago. Oh, none of them, because it's not activated yet. What a sausage. Yeah. Oh no, we've got Nathaniel is in the wall and Felix in the wall, both at the same time then. We said it was going bad for the Aston Martins, and actually Xavi did have damage, apparently. It didn't look like it on screen, but yeah, both Aston Martins out at the same time. I think they got 4 wide with the Mercedes of Jago and the Williams of Florian there. Florian's got no wing, so could well be the instigator of that
Yeah.
collision. But yeah, both Aston Martins out now. Tough one to take.
Yeah, Jago damage as well.
That's what happens when you go 4 wide. Yeah, no wing on the Mercedes there.
And it's another full course safety car.
And it's another full safety car. You said 3?
I did, but I'm
I
beginning
didn't
to
expect 1 every 5 laps.
no, and also I'm also potentially thinking there might be more if there is a limit of 6.
Well, this is the thing, yeah. So I think Nexton should jump in the pits. He is doing. Kai is going to follow him in as well. 13 lap old hards, I suppose you would. Is that as well? Athanasio is in to change off his 14 lap old hards too. Unfortunately for them, because it hadn't been so long since the restart, there are still a lot of cars very close together, and they will probably drop down a lot further than they would have had the race been still racing. Florian and Jago in the pits there to get new wings. Florian going on the soft tyres. He's definitely going to need another safety car.
Yeah, does he not have another set of mediums, I'm wondering?
Possibly. Let me check so that it's not on stream, the race director, to see what he started on. Where is he? Florian there. So he's hard to medium, so I think he's just been on the mediums. I'd have put the hard top on. Or has he done medium? No, he's done medium to hard. So he's just come off the hards now.
Yeah, he would have had to have, because it damaged as well. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, so he's gone from, obviously with his front wing, so he did a normal pit stop, it looks like then, at on lap 9, when the safety car came out.
Unless then he comes in now and then switches back to his hards if he's only just put them on.
Possibly, yeah. Because you have to do a tyre change there. But he did pit on, when the last safety car came out on lap 9, he went from mediums to hards. And then obviously with his damage now, he's had to come off the hards. So he's probably put the softs on. See if he comes in again. Where is he? As he comes around the final corner. It's a good shout, that. I think
he's staying out.
He's going to stay out. He's staying out.
He's
going for it.
He's committing, which is fair enough. He must be thinking, get on the softs while I can, then, and potentially there might be another safety car.
Well, this is the thing, if we've had 3 in 14 laps, every chance there's going to be one. We've got 4 DNFs. I said 5. You said 7. I think you're looking more likely to be right this week again.
You never know, though. It could be entirely clean from here on out.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of them things that you don't really want to be right on, but
no,
it's got to be right. So he's going to make a charge on the restart. With Jago and Xavi will be his first targets. At the minute, I couldn't give a name for driver of the day.
No, neither could I.
Maybe Tetris for his improvement from last week. Obviously, he had a good qualifying, but his race was
awful.
Accident prone. Yeah, accident prone. That's what I was going to use, but he's kept it clean this time. He's kept ahead. He's been in the middle of the field as well.
Yeah.
Coming to the restart. The second restart for Mr. Tetris this week.
Yeah, I put in my pre-race notes that he wouldn't want a repeat of the last race, and
No.
it's definitely not panned out that way so far, which is obviously a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose commiserations at the minute for Nexton and Kai, who they had to pit. It was just time to pit, and he's gone. Stewart is right. He is very awake with him though. He went exactly the same time, 3/10 separate and 3/10 still separate. We've got a side by side between Bossmots and Reliot coming into turn one. Reliot, big brain move there, kept it back, kept it clean. And it looks like a very, very clean restart all round. From the right angle, the Haas and the AlphaTauri look like the same car.
Yeah, that very, very valid assessment.
It's really frustrating. And yellow with 3 cars, 2 of them now DNF in. Florian just on them softs. Athanasio and I think Diego Bon was caught up again. Lunatic Kai caught up as well with both missing wings. This is not going very well, and it makes it very difficult to commentate, guys. Come on. I'm feeling very disturbed with the sound of silence. This is not good.
Hello,
So,
darkness,
safety
my
car
old
number
friend.
4. Yes, safety car number 4. Nexton's in the pits. Did he claim damage on that on the collision? I think he did.
Yeah,
He
he
did
did.
as well. Yeah,
He did. Yeah.
didn't lose his wing like the other two, but yeah,
In a,
he does need a wing change.
yeah, obviously, must have been enough contact to warrant it changing.
Well, I mean, any kind of damage while the safety car's out, you go in and get rid of it. I suppose if it's the last few laps and you've got a little bit, you've got to try and race with it. But if the safety car's out, you might as well change it.
Yeah.
Start fresh. And he's got a fresh set of mediums on as well. 0 lap mediums. Alongside as well, previous P2 racer Kai in the McLaren. Jago has had to go on 6 lap old mediums. So not great, but not bad.
No, and the hard runners especially will now be. Well, I don't know if grateful's the right word because of it being so stop-start, but it'll obviously be helping them carry their tyres towards the end, especially Stewart, who'll pit off the softs.
100%, yeah. I mean, if he's nailed the strategy, I mean, he's got to be contender of the driver of the day, I think. But a soft, hard, very, very, very good, very nice. We did have a similar conversation last week, actually, with the safety cars, saying it was stop-start. This one has been twice as bad. This is more of the track that you need to get that rhythm in. Obviously, we were talking about rhythm last week in the wet conditions. This week, it's just a track that you need the rhythm on. And with the amount of safety cars, it's so tough to race and find that rhythm. Ooh. So 3 drivers with penalties, all only 3 seconds as well. So, not too many track limit warnings spread out throughout the grid. Everybody on similar lap tyres. I mean, if you look at the top 10, they're all on 9 laps, with No, 7 of them on hards and the rest of them on mediums. Nexton currently has the fastest lap, 17.9. Not much else to say. I mean, we're in and out of safety cars, so it's difficult.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
is difficult. We're going to restart again as we come into sector 3 out the chicane. Restart number 3 for Mr. Tetris as well.
Another potential contender for driver of the day, I'm not sure if you've noticed this, but Benny Bunno, 15 places gained. Currently in top 5.
Yeah, we've seen him have a couple of side-by-sides as well, and it's not been, too damaging. 3-second penalty, though, I think, puts him below too many others. I think Mr. Tetris has gone very early then, before the final corner. Stewart, again, very much awake. He is right on the exhaust of Mr. Tetris. I think he's gone a bit early and everybody was still ready for it. TGL Stewart backed out of the side-by-side there with Benny Bunno into turn 1. Very good decision, I think. But again, nice and clean restart. Let's try and get some racing laps in now, guys.
Yeah, and Stewart just picking up a penalty there out of the Villeneuve chicane.
The end of sector 2 then for the front runners. No one going for a try into the chicane. Side by side for Haas and Ricker. The Haas and Ricker, sorry. Gunnar. The Haas of Gunnar and Ricker. With Gunnar just backing out, obviously, sensible driver. Bog as well. Started at the back. Up in 10th. Well, 11th, just I say that. Side by side with teammate Nexton. Probably just let him go. They're not in the same kind of race. With Kai as well, possibly just trying to bring that through. It's almost a 3 wide, very, very close, very, very tight. Nexton is more ahead. Bogorovsky does back out of that turn 1 3-way. That was going to end in tears. So good decision there from the experienced driver. Jago struggling, I think, off this restart. Not too far behind, but I think he's losing the car a little bit. And just as we say that, Xavi loses the car at the end of Sector 1 around the little hairpin that is there. Just a bit of a back end spin, no touching, but manages to get it back on track. Who are you with, Con? Who are you with?
I'm currently watching Boss Mots as he's closing up to the back of Stewart.
Yeah, no problem. I'm going to look at Nexton and Gunnar, less than a tenth between the two drivers. Gunnar keeping position for now. No DRS as well. Oh, there it is, but they won't get it on this. Can Gunnar keep that position? They're still kind of side by side. I think Kai's going to take advantage of that as well. Both cars there getting past Gunnar on the straight. So that was the difference we were talking about with setups earlier as well. Nexton and Kai must have very similar setups, and Gunnar must have gone for corners. We have a yellow. We have a pass out.
Yeah, unfortunately, brilliant DNFing. I'm not entirely sure what happened.
I think we probably just lost it through the through that quick left right there. It's a very easy place to lose the back end of the car. I didn't see it though. Very, very close at the front. Kai as well, sticking with Nexton like a rash. Just following him through. Actually, he's taking advantage of just staying behind the Red Bull driver. And any moves that Nexton is making, Kai is just following up as they both make their way from the back, close to the back of the grid, into the midfield now. Mr. Tetris there losing first place to Bossmox.
Yeah,
with
that
the
was
help of DRS, I would assume.
Yeah, that was very close. It looked like they almost tagged each other going through towards
Side by
Tamburello.
side through turn one. Comes out with no tears shed, but that was very, very close there. Nexton gets past the Alfa Romeo of Ricker, with Kai again following his every move. Both cars getting past the Alfa Romeo, but Kai was still side by side through the turn one, with Ricker not losing the back end, but sort of becoming unstuck, if you like, on track. Probably didn't expect Kai to make the move there, with Gunnar then taking advantage of the Alfa Romeo, having a bit of a wobble through it. So 7th, 8th and 9th all change positions, with Ricker dropping down to 10th. Showing some very good pace, actually, Nexton and Kai. I'm not surprised, but it's very good of them. Obviously, they lost out to the pit stop, and then both got damage from the DNFs of the Astons, I think.
Yes, I believe so.
Or it could have been the Florian one. So at the very back, then they're now 7th and 8th. Both had very good qualifyings as well. Benny has been last week's Florian, kept it quiet, kept it clean, and has made his way up to 5th. Two very good races for the Alpine drivers, now 3rd and 4th. But Bossmots, who qualified 7th, I want to say, is up in the lead, but does have a penalty, so that could change a hell of a lot in the next 9 laps.
Yeah, next are an absolute tear as well. Closed the gap up to Billy really quickly.
He's just got a purple sector 2 as well, so keep an eye on that fastest lap going from Nexton to Nexton. Just sniffing the exhaust of it's Billy there. I wonder if Kai can do the same as he's done for the past sort of 3 to 4 laps. He's just following Nexton through for every move he makes. Nexton is trying his best to get to Billy. Change camera for me, I can't see. But yeah, I don't know if Billy had an issue there, but he's just, again, Nexton and Lunatic both getting through. Gunnar as well taking advantage. I don't know if Billy was pushed on the grass there. Something to keep an eye on for reports after.
Yeah, might have been, just seemed to slow down, and I'm not entirely sure why.
In fact, Billy's got no wing left.
Oh, so has there been contact between him and Nexton then in the lead up to turn one?
There, the gap was big enough from Billy to Stewart for that not to be the thing. Nexton on the way past could well have knocked the wing off. Kai taking advantage and obviously just following Nexton through.
And Stewart's round.
And as Stewart is round and off, that's very close to come back onto track there. It's such a difficult place to rejoin. Unfortunately, it's one of the main places that people do spin with the change in. It's not camber, is it? Because that's the tilt. Because it kind of goes downhill, round, and back up. So you'll know what I mean.
I do think you're right. Actually, I think it is the camber of the corner.
I know the camber obviously is where it tilts sort of left and right, but it could well be that as it comes down, round, and back up again. Nexton as well is on a charge, ladies and gentlemen, past Benny Bunno now as well. Kai couldn't take advantage of that one. Stays behind the AlphaTaurian this time, but he's charging. He's charging. Second last week. He's going to want another podium. Oh, Jago on the back of Stewart as well. Less than a tenth between the two drivers there. Jago is flashing, no battery. Whereas Stewart is not. So Stewart can defend better than Jago can attack. DRS could play a part. Kai gets ahead of Benny coming into the penultimate corner. But that does mean that Benny will get the DRS on the McLaren driver. Could well take that back. I am going to stay on with that. Can he take the charge of turn 1? I don't think he's going to be close enough. No, can't make that come to fruition there. But Nexton again behind his best end by the looks of it. He has dragged Nexton has dragged Kai back up the grid. Kai should be kissing his feet after the race, telling me. Because without Nexton, I don't think Kai would be up to 5th.
Yeah, so Bosmont's leading the way still. But has got a 3-second penalty, so it's going to be a case of in these next few laps, can he generate that extra 8, 9 tenths that he needs to keep the win.
Well, I mean, a couple of laps ago they were within a second of each other, and now it's 2.2. So technically, it can happen because he's made 2.2 seconds already. It is just going to depend on. Let me have a look at. Since no one else can see my screen, let me have a look at the telemetry of the two. Both with very similar amounts of DRS as well, so there's not going to be any push from either of them. Let's just say that. But Stewart, on the other hand, has still got almost 3/4 of his battery. So Stewart could make the last 4 laps into an absolute charge. He only needs to stay within 3 seconds of Bosmots. Technically, if he can get past Mr. Tetris, there's less than a second.
Yeah, and the gap to Mr. Tetris from Bosmots just dropped slightly over the last few corners, but he's gone back up again. Never mind.
He's gone back up again. Yeah. Bogorovsky gets past TDL Stewart as well for 9th place. Very good drive from Bog, I think, this week. Started from the back. He's in the top 10. He's not been any collisions that we've seen. He's he's another one that's doing a Florian. Closest on track is Stewart to Tetris. Oh well, TGL Stewart to Bog actually, but Stewart to Tetris at the front is probably a little more crucial. I'll stay on with Stewart and Bog, see if he can get past him on with the DRS.
Yeah, I'm just keeping an eye on the top 3 here, as like you said, it's getting pretty close. Whether Stewart decides to burn a little bit of his DRS to try and get back into well, being closer at least, is another story. But
the main thing for Stewart is to get past Mr. Tetris, because then he's got the win with the penalty as well. The Mercedes at the back both just pit for softs 2 and 3 laps ago. Obviously, Jago's got the new fastest lap there, but won't get the point for it as he's outside the top 10. And TGL Stewart could not make the move on Bog, so Bog still ahead in 9th position.
Yeah, also just worth noting that Billy is not currently driving. He's blacked out, and he's not joining back just in case it messes up.
Okay. So the AI of Billy has pitted for
softs.
But Jago has done the same thing, got the fastest lap, just to remove that extra point from Nexton. TGL Stewart there with a 5-second penalty as well. We'll go on the softs, I think, to try and beat that fastest lap of Jago. Oh, maybe he needed a wing change as well. Must have missed something there. I didn't see anything between the Red Bull driver and the Alpine, but I'm sure he's just had a wing change. Could do with Stewart just needs to. I don't know. This is what we were saying before about setup as well. I don't know why he's not been able to close that gap. He should have the DRS, and he's got a lot more ERS than Tetris ahead of him. He should be absolutely able to push on and attack. Same lap hards, so no advantage from any driver. With 2 laps to go, it's going to be close.
Yeah, and Nexton's closed the gap again pretty rapidly over the last couple of laps to Stewart. Just sitting at just over a second currently, but if he can get into that DRS on the last lap, then
we're close. We're almost side by side. They are now side by side. Mr. Tetris, I think he's let him pass for the DRS, to be honest. But this is where now Stewart, if he can get a good exit out of the chicane, excuse me, he's got the battery. I think if he defends well down that pitch straight, he could well come away with 2 wins in a row. Won last week, didn't he? I remember right.
Yeah, he did.
He did win last week. He could well come away with 2 in a row. Reminisce from last season of myself. Won the first one by surprise. Won the second one here. He has kept position into turn 1 as well. He's made up a few tenths as well out of turn 2 and 3. Next and right on the back of Mr. Tetris now as well. We could see Mr. Tetris fall off the podium altogether. All together. Stewart as well, just inside that 3 seconds. He will have to push just to keep inside it. He's just outside it at the minute.
Yeah, it's going to be very close. Just watching that interval bounce up and down for the rest of this lap.
It really is. Boss Mots has nailed every corner so far this lap. That timing is just flying up. Look at it go. Boss Mots could well have the win of this race, even with that 3 second penalty. There goes that obvious fastest lap there from TGL Stewart on them fresh softs. As we come through then, sector 3, it's still going up. He's going to get it. Bossmott's in the Williams, bringing it round then, the final corner for the final time of this race. It's going to take something special for Stewart to take it now. 3.3, 3.4 as he crosses the line. Stewart comes in. Bossmott keeps it, and it's a win for the Williams driver. Stewart in second place. What a race from him. Mr. Tetris does manage to keep on that podium. And again, we've had a driver DNF. It says he's DNF'd just before the line.
No, it's done the same as what it did to Niki Lauda last week.
Oh yeah, he's up there, isn't he? Yeah, so Nexton will take 4th place. I will tell you that right now. Kai will be 5th, Benny will be 6th, Guna will be 7th, Ricker will be 8th. Mr. Bogorovsky himself, the man, the myth, the legend, will be 9th. Rounding off your top 10 will be Javi. Jago will take 11th. TGL Stewart will bring it home, or should bring it home, for 12th. And then the AI of Billy will be at the back, which is expected of an AI. What a race. It was difficult that first 14 laps, but I tell you what, them last 5 again, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, definitely, and way to keep it clean for last sort of half, we'll say. Because I can't remember there being a safety car or a VSC or anything like that after lap 18 or so.
Not after the 4th one, no. The 4th one came out, I think, lap 14, 16, something like that. And then there was nothing after that. So yeah, 4 safety cars, so you were closer. And we had 7 DNS. Oetink, 14th down. Yep. 7 DNS. Congratulations, you were right. Obviously, the Nexton of the Red Bull of Nexton, sorry, will remain in that 4th position.
Yeah, and actually,
But congratulations to Bossmots for the win there.
Yeah, and actually, if you look on the results, it actually says Nexton 1.3 plus 1.3.
Yes, it does. Yes. So, yeah. So that will remain. There shouldn't be any worry again. Driver of the day, Connor.
Ooh.
I don't know. That last lap by Bossmots, I tell you what, he must have nailed absolutely everything.
Yeah, had to have. I'd almost be tempted to look at Bossmots for driver of the day, but obviously we'll discuss it and see who we think.
Yeah, I mean, we also had Benny, who says he qualified at the back, 20th, finishing in the points again. We had Bogorovsky in 19th, finishing in the points. So plenty to talk about. We will let the people in charge know who the driver of the day is. Yeah, difficult for half the race, and then amazing then for the last 5 laps, I suppose. And that final lap itself, exhilarating.
Yeah, definitely.
Congratulations one last time to Bossmots in the Williams. What's next week, Con?
Oh, next week. Is it Spain?
I am going to have a look just to double check.
It is indeed Barcelona.
It is Barcelona. Very good, very nice. We do like that track. Yeah, obviously before next week though, we do have Division 1 and 3 tomorrow, Division 4 on Thursday. We also have the Gran Turismo League on a Friday, although I don't know if that's streamed or not. And then the Division 0 starts again from Monday with Spain being the destination. Thank you all for watching. Thank you, Connor, for joining me.
Not a problem.
And being in charge of the camera, Mr. Cameraman. Yeah, so see you all tomorrow for Division 1 and 3, and myself and Connor will see you probably next week for Spain.
Yeah, absolutely. Take care, everybody.